promised, we're going to do a stand-up class. Thanks to Cov for reminding me, I'd forgotten. So I'm just going to set my timer, so it's standing up start. So you'll need your mat and everything as usual for when we get down. But just watch standing up start, that you have got room overhead, you're not going to catch any light fittings or anything like that. We'll just get this going. So it'll be about 60 minutes. Right. That's about it, I think. So here we go. So standing on or by your mat, make sure your shoes are comfy, that they're not going to fall off your feet, or bare feet if you prefer. Shoulders back and down. The first thing I need to do is just relax your toes and just gently rock on your feet, just to find the midpoint. So you're not too much at the toes or the heels, just in the centre. And then relax your legs a little bit, and I want you to just lengthen your spine. Feel yourself being drawn up towards the ceiling. Pull the belly in just a smidge. Relax the shoulders down. Just relax the neck, and then you're going to turn your head from left to right. And you're trying to follow the same line around the room. Just scanning around your room. You might get a little bit of creaking in the neck. As long as it's not painful, the creaking should go. If it is pain, then stop before that painful bit. Just reduce your range a bit if you need to. Make sure your tailbone is pointing down, not sticking out behind you, and your shoulders are relaxed and down. Bring your head back to centre, tuck your chin in and look down towards the floor for that nice stretch on the back of the neck. Bring your head back to your natural eye line, and then ease your chin up towards the ceiling. Feel a stretch under your neck, under your chin. And you're just going to repeat that a few times. So pulling your chin in towards your throat as you look down, back to your natural eye line, and then lifting your chin. Try not to just throw your head back, just to feel that stretch under the chin, and back to your natural eye line again. And do once more. Hopefully it's not creaking as much as it did before. And then bring your head back to centre, and now you're just going to tilt your head to the side. It's like you're tipping water out of your ear. It's quite a tough move, this one. So what I want you to make sure is, as you tilt your head over, you're not allowing the opposite shoulder just to lift up. You're just looking for that stretch from underneath your ear across the top of the shoulder. So try and still look forward as you do it, rather than looking down to the floor, and just feel that stretch on the side of the neck. If you can, as you tilt your head to one side, just relax the opposite shoulder down a little way, just to increase that stretch, but don't force it. And then my favourite one, you're going to wind your neck in. So find your natural eye line in front of you, and then jut your chin out, and then try and pull your chin in towards your throat until you've got a stretch down the back of your neck. And then forward again. So you're letting your head jut forward of your body, and then you're winding it in. Trying to line your ears up with your shoulders and pulling your chin to your throat. I won't do this one facing you because it might scare you. And pulling. So if you're doing this one at home, don't look at yourself in the mirror. It'll put you right off. Out with the chin, in with the chin. And what we're looking to do is stretch. So again, like you did before, as you pull your chin in, try and relax your shoulders down your back. It's a good one actually, all joking aside. It's a good one if you get a lot of tension in your neck. Just to ease it out. Push forward, wind your neck in. In the olden days, when we all had somewhere to go, I used to recommend doing this one in the car with your head on the headrest. My car's full of cobweb these days, it don't go anywhere. Once more, out, don't cry. And in. Alright, and then we'll move on to the shoulders. So just move your feet a little bit so your legs don't lock up on you. And then you're going to shrug. So you're going to bring your shoulders up towards your ears and then relax them down. And I want all these moves now to be about feeling your shoulder blades just starting to move, just loosening them up. So pull your shoulders up and down. But we're still in Pilates, so we're still pulling the abdominals in enough to tilt the pelvis down, not letting it stick out. Go up and ease them down, away from your ears. Pull up and ease down. Then you're going to add a nice shoulder roll in. So as you pull your shoulders up, you're going to roll them back and then let them roll forward. So again, think about the shoulder blades moving across your back and feel that chest stretch across your chest. Good. Rolling out, big circles, squeezing the shoulder blades together as you push your chest out. And then you're going to reverse it, so you pull the shoulders up again, and this time you start by pulling the shoulders forward. So your emphasis now is more on that stretch across your back. So as you bring your shoulders forward, squeeze your chest in and push your upper back out slightly. Good. Like you're going to give somebody a big hug. Not that you ever will, because it's against the rules. That's one rule I'm not sorry to be avoiding at the moment. Good. Alright, we'll exaggerate this one now, so give yourself a hug. Wrap your arms around, tuck your chin in, bend your knees a little bit if you want to. Breathe into your back, and then you're going to open out. So you're going to pull your arms out and back, squeeze the shoulder blades together and push the chest forward. If you did bend your knees, then straighten your knees and feel that stretch across the front of the hip maybe. And again, so you're going to sit into a hug, pull your arms in, like you're protecting yourself from the cold, tuck your chin in, breathe into your back, and then the sun comes out and you open out. Pull the shoulders back and down, lift the chest, breathe nice and deep. We're going to do one more of that, so flex the back, curl in on yourself, breathe into your back, and then open out. Pull the shoulders back and down, lift the chest, straighten the legs, little squeeze of the bum, arching and extending the spine. Lovely. And bring your arms down. Then we're going to work on the sides of the body. So we'll do a little bit of side stretching first. Your feet might need to be a little bit wider apart for balance. Pull your waist muscles in slightly and then just slide your hand down your leg. Still look forward as you do this one, because I need you to keep your shoulders level. If you look down, there's a tendency to twist over, and I just want you to feel a little stretch down the side of the body. And pull yourself back up and over the other way. So you're bringing your body, your ribs towards your hip, and then squaring it up again. We can add on to this one. So when you're ready, as you slide the hand down the leg, the opposite arm comes up, hopefully avoids the light fitting and reaches towards the wall. As you reach over, so as I'm reaching over my right arm, I'm pressing through my right foot. And get that nice arc shape. And then pull yourself back up. Same on the other side. So I'm going to slide my right hand down my leg. And my left arm up and over and press into my left foot. Watch the lower back on this one. So pull the belly in. Make sure your tailbone points down. If you let your belly relax and your tailbone points out, you're going to feel that in the hips and the lower back. A little reach out with your fingers like you're trying to touch the wall. And pull yourself back up. So we're working the sides of the body. Good for the waist. Press into the foot. It will give you a little bit more balance to allow you to reach a little bit further. Good. Once more each side. Reach over. Relaxing the neck. Make sure the chest is square to the front, not twisted to the floor. Nobody wants their chest on the floor. Okay, and then we'll do a bit of twisting. So I'll do this one side on. Feet facing forward, shoulders back and down. Now you're going to keep your hips still now. So just pull that centre in a little bit to keep it still and fold your arms. About chest level, a bit lower if you've got any issues with your neck. Relax the shoulders. Now you're going to turn, but only the shoulders and the torso is going to move. The hips aren't. And then back to centre. So your knees, hips face forward and your upper body is rotating. Keep drawing the shoulders down your back. And your chin and nose stay level with the midpoint on your arms. That's so you're not making a squash box. That box in front of you stays nice and level. Really think about using the upper back muscles and the sides of your body to rotate you. Tailbone points down to the floor. pelvis is square on. Good. Again, if you're feeling this in your lower back, draw the front abdominals in a little bit more to support that arched in your lower back. Lovely. Come back to centre, relax the shoulders. We'll just loosen up the upper body and the sides at the same time with a little bit of arm swinging. So just try and get a nice gap between your arms. Use your shoulders, use your upper back. If you know you're a bit of a sloucher, you've got to watch for this posture all the time where your upper body flexes forward. So keep drawing your shoulder blades down your back and feel that movement in the rib cage. Gets your breathing going, gets your upper body moving about a bit. Warm you up. Save on the heating. Save the planet by just swinging your arms about. Okay, then we're going to come to the hips in a minute, but first of all I want to make sure the feet and ankles are working properly. So all I want to do is just gently rock backwards and forwards. Depends on what's on your feet, how well this goes. If you've got trainers on, they're designed to tip you forward, so you might find your balance is a bit challenged. So if you want to take your shoes off, feel free. But I just want you to feel your shins and calves working as you roll through your feet. Put your chin on your imaginary shelf, so you're still looking at your natural eye line. And as you roll back onto your heels, try not to stick your bum out. We're not squatting. So I want you to be using these core muscles to keep your torso up. And using your ankles, your shins and your calves. So you might find, while we've been doing this, that your movement's increasing. As your ankles loosen and your core muscles switch on, then you can move a little bit further. I always say that just before I lose my balance. I just want you to feel those ankles flexing. Here we go. Got it. And just feel those ankles flexing and stretching. Spread your toes out. Don't claw those toes. And now see if you can come up onto the balls of your feet and stay there for a few seconds. Really draw the heels up towards the back of your knees. Spread your toes, try and distribute your weight across your foot. Really keep reaching up through your head and then slowly back down to your heels and a little rock back to release and up again. So find your balance. Draw those heels up. Really use your calf muscles, contract the calf, spread the toes, slowly down. Rock back, last one, come up, hold it, really contract the calf. That big sigh was Benny. And back. Okay, just loosen the legs slightly. We're going to do a few squats, just to look at the hips, knees and ankles. Remember you form with this squat. When you sit into a squat, it's not the upper body that moves, it's the hips, knees and ankles. So you move your bum back and then you lower down. So your torso remains straight. Don't bend your back and pull yourself up. So if you're tight in your hips, knees and ankles, you might only do a small squat. That is fine. So bring your arms out in front to balance, move your hips back and lower down onto that imaginary chair. If you glance down, you should be able to see your feet past your knees and pull yourself up. Now as you reach forward, try not to bunch your shoulders up around your ears. So as you reach forward with your hands, keep your chest lifted and sit back and then pull yourself up. If you're not sure, better to do a small squat than a poor squat because that's putting the strain in your lower back. So sitting. To come back up, press down through your feet, squeeze your butt and pull yourself back up straight. And again, really good for hip strength, ankle, knee and hip flexibility and upper back strength as well because you're not bending down. Good. Sit back, reach forward with your arms, pull your shoulders back and down. See if you can lower those hips a little bit further. pull yourself back up. You can do one more, and then I'm going to bring us down onto the floor into plank and back to squat. It's very exciting. If you're finding that squats are a bit much for you and you want to just stay with what we're doing now, or rest, that's fine. But one more normal squat. So sit down, move those hips back and see if you can go a little bit lower now, like you're trying to get your bum to touch the back of your calf. Glamorous. And pull yourself up. Right. I'm going to move forward on my mat a bit because my legs are going to shoot out behind. So you might need to come to the top end of your mat. You're going to sit into your squat like you've just done. But this time, when you've gone as low as you can, you're going to put your hands on the floor and you're going to move your right leg back, rest on the ball of your foot. Press down a little bit more into your hands, move your left leg back into plank. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your right foot back in, your left foot back in, back up into a squat. Stand up. Get us. Have another go. Into your squat. Bit lower if you can, so you haven't got so far to go with your hands. Hands to the floor. Press down to release so you can move your right leg back. Press down to release to leave your left leg back. Into plank for 5, 4. Push through your hands. 3, 2, 1. Foot in. Foot in. Back to squat. Stand up. 3 more. Come on. Squat. Hands down. Press down into your hands so you can move your foot back. Other foot back. When you're on your balls of your feet, push your heels away from you. Distribute your weight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot in. Foot in. Hands off the floor into squat. Stand up. 2 more. Squat. A little bit lower. Hands to the floor. Push down into your hands. Right leg back. Left leg back. Pull those abdominals in and push the floor away from you. 5, 4. Push your heels away from you. 3, 2, 1. Foot in. Foot in. Hands off the floor. Shoulders back and down. Stand. Last one. Come on, you can. Down into squat. A little bit lower. Hands to the floor. Foot back. Press into the floor with your hands or the foot back. Hold it. Push the floor away. Push your heels away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot in. Foot in. Hands off the floor. Stand up. Well done. Well done. Good. What have we got next? Then we get back down on the floor now we've got up. So you're going to come back to the floor. You can do it the squat way or you can just come down to nobody's watching it, however you want to get down on the floor. We'll do a little bit of circling round now we're down here. So just moving around through your hips. A little bit of loosening back up again. Good. That should help you next time you're going to clean the cupboards out. And it's spring coming up and all that. Up and down, cleaning the cupboards. Right, bit of 3/4 plank. Now, let's get my glass sorted. Yeah. Okay, so bring your hands a bit further forward. And you're going to come to 3/4 plank. So when your weight comes forward over your hands, and you squeeze your belly and your bum, and I want a straight line down your back. Push the floor away. Hold it for your 5 seconds if you can. So a slow count to 5. 3, 2, 1, and then move your hips back towards your feet and you've got a stretch in your back. Sink your chest down towards the floor. Bring your hands towards you if you need to get a good stretch through the lower back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together to get a nice stretch. And then come up, bring the hands forward if you need to, back to that 3/4 plank. Push the floor away with your arms. Squeeze your bottom, I want a straight line down that body. Counting to 5 thereabouts, you might want to count a bit quicker or you might want to stay there for a bit longer. When you're ready, up and back. Try and lower the chest towards the floor. Move the hips towards the feet. And then up and forward. Now I'm going to add a little press up in. Do the press up if you want to. You don't have to if you prefer not. But if you press up, we're going to do a close arm press up. So you're going to have your hands underneath your shoulders. You're in your plank position. You squeeze your elbows towards your ribs as you bend your arms. And then you push into your hands to push yourself back up. Sit your hips back again. It's different to a wide arm press up. Remember, I'll just show you the difference just for your wrists. If you do a wide arm press up, your elbows go out to the side because your hands are wide. This press up, because your hands are close together, your elbows go back so they stay close to your ribs. Important that for your wrists and your shoulders. So we've sat back. We're going to do 5 of these. So you're going to come forward, weight on your hands, squeeze the elbows to the ribs as you bend your elbows, lower yourself towards the floor, and then push through your hands to bring yourself back up. And then sit your hips back. Only go as low as you can keep your back straight. If your back feels like it's arching as you go down, that's putting the strain in your lower back. So keep a nice straight spine, squeeze the elbows towards your ribs, hold it for a second if you can, and then push yourself back up, sit back. And sitting back becomes a nice release stretch, so stay there for a second or two if you want. And do 2 more. So you're going to come forward. Feel the weight in your hands. Squeeze the elbows to your ribs as you bend your elbows, keeping your back straight. Hold it for a second if you can. Push yourself back up and then move back. Building strength in the upper body. Once more, come forward. Shoulders back and down. Squeeze the elbows to the ribs as you lower. Hold it for a few seconds if you can, squeezing those ribs into your body. No, those elbows into your ribs, and then push up and push back. Good. Sit into your child's pose for a few seconds if you want to. You can fold your arms and put your head on them if you want to. Have a little cry if it makes you feel better. All right, now we're going to do a little bit of rotation because that's all been quite sort of forward and back, so we haven't really twisted the body, so we're going to do that now. So just going to do a bit of threading the needle. I'm going to isolate, so I'm going to do one side. So we'll do the right side first. So I'll do it facing you so you can see what my arms are doing. So you've got your hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Your right hand turns over, so it's palm up, reaches past your left arm until your right shoulder goes towards the floor, hips up high. So it's like you're trying to bring your right ear and shoulder towards the mat. When you've gone as far as is comfortable, bring the arm back out. Start to press down into the left hand as you reach the right arm up. I want to try and pull that right shoulder back now, so you're presenting your chest towards the right side of your room. And you're going to repeat that 5 times. It's all about 5s today. So reaching the right hand through, send the shoulder and ear to the floor, bringing the right shoulder down and pulling the left shoulder back. And then level up and reverse that. So pull the left, that helps, doesn't it? Pull the right shoulder back and the left shoulder through. Nothing like having somebody forgetting the left and right when you're trying to work out what you're doing, is there? And again, reach through, right shoulder and right ear down. Make sure your bum's in the air, like you just don't care. Come back. So as that arm reaches up, pull the right shoulder back and let the left shoulder just pull forward slightly. So I get quite a lot of this, people sort of twist their body just to try and to reach up to the ceiling. It's not about reaching the ceiling, it's about rotating the torso. I've lost count, I'm going to do one more. If I haven't got to 5, I apologise, so you go to 5. So shoulder and ear to the floor, come through, reach up. So pressing to the left hand will help give you that little bit more movement. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So come back down. It's a relief to come off the left hand. So you're reaching the left hand through, so sending the left shoulder and ear to the floor. Pull that right shoulder back slightly. Then come out of that and reverse it. So the left shoulder pulls back, the right shoulder pulls forward. Pressing into your right hand now. You're going to have one side where it's easier than the other. So again, reach through. Left shoulder, left ear towards the floor, right shoulder pulls back. Bum in the air. Come out of that. As the arm reaches up, pull the left shoulder back, press the chest through, press into the right hand. And again, reach through. It's all about twisting, but it's only the shoulders, as much as possible, we want the movement from. So we want the upper body rotating. That's the point of the move. A couple more. You can stay, if you don't want to do the reps, you can stay in the position for a little bit longer rather than moving in and out as much as I am. It's whatever works better for you. But pull the shoulder back and press the chest out. Pressing into the supporting arm will just give you that little bit more leverage. And again, reach through. Come out. And reach up. Again, apologies if that's not 5, but it feels close enough to me. Lovely. Okay, grab yourself a drink if you want one. We've got one more front exercise to do, then we're going to get onto our side. So we're going to do a bit of swimming. This is all about strength and really good for your posture, this one. But technique is everything, so don't rush it. On your hands and knees again. If you've had enough of being on your hands and knees, on this exercise, remember you can lie flat and lift the opposite arm off the floor from a flat position if your knees or wrists have had enough. Otherwise, shoulders back and down, abdominals pulled in. Make sure that tailbone is pointing away from you towards the wall behind you, not sinking, not up towards the ceiling. Weight on your right hand, move your right foot back. Still rest on the ball of your foot or the tips of your toes to start with. Square your hips, pull that shoulder down. On your left side, take the weight off your left hand and reach forward. Don't overreach. Pull the shoulder back and down, square your shoulders, square your hips. And this is where the posture bit comes in. So I want you to squeeze your bum to lift your leg up till you feel those bum muscles really tight. Belly's tight so the pelvis hasn't arched. With the left arm, you're going to lift it off the floor and pull the shoulder back, square your shoulders. And you're going to hold this position for 5, 4, 3, push into your right hand, 2, 1, back down to the floor, back into the box position. Again, on the other side, so push into your left hand, move your left leg back. Now check your alignment, that your hips are still square, you've got support from this arm, it's not all in the right leg. Shoulders back, so the leg is moved back, the right arm moves forward, you square your shoulders, your hips. Squeeze your butt to lift the leg up, lift the arm and pull the shoulder back. Now you're going to hold this position, but you're not going to just lock into position, you're going to use your muscles to keep you there. So push into your hands, squeeze your butt, keep squaring the shoulders. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down and back in. And repeat that again. Really key is to push into the hand before you move the leg back. If you don't, all your weight shifts to the other side and then everything's out of alignment. So push into your right hand to move your foot back, arm forward, pull the shoulder back and then lift. When you've lifted, push into your supporting arm to push yourself away from the floor. Squeeze your bum to lift your leg, square your shoulders. It looks passive, but there's continuous work going on here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down, back in. Just check your alignment on your legs, that you haven't brought your legs too close together. Then your hands are underneath your shoulders and we'll do the left side. So push into your left hand and move your leg back. Use that time to square the hips. Bring your right arm forward, square your shoulders. Now when you lift, your spine does not bend. So squeeze your butt to lift the leg, square your shoulders. I want you to hold it for 5, 4, push your hand into the floor, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Well done. Sit back into that child's pose for a second. Lovely. And then we're going to do some side work. So you might want a cushion now underneath your head. We're going to start with our arm circles. So lie yourself down, have your legs bent however you're comfortable, and support your head however is comfortable for you. We'll start with the bent arm. So with your top arm bent, you're going to circle your elbow around and allow it to move your torso. little twist. Pull your waist in. Just twisting nice and easy. Any shoulder issues, you might want to stay with this option. Otherwise, when you're ready, you can just straighten the arm out. I bring the feet forward a little bit at that point, so your legs are kind of in an L shape, just to give you a bit more balance. And again, like before when we were doing the thread and the needle, I want to really think about rotating the shoulders. So as much as possible, isolate the move, so the shoulders are moving, the hips aren't. And you get a nice rotation. Builds up strength in the side of the body. You see people who haven't got much core and side strength, they kind of wobble from side to side. And you go. Now this time, as you take your arm back, just stay there for a second or two. You're just pointing at the wall behind you and just let the weight of your arm just twist you around a little bit more. So you just broke the move halfway. Just a little rotation, stay there for a second or two. And back around. One more like that. Good. Right, so I've got a new one for you now. Half of it you're familiar with, I've just added on to make it, really useful for you. So bring your legs into 90 degrees, like a chair position. And keeping the leg in that shape, you're going to squeeze your bum and you're going to lift that top leg to about hip height. Hold it for a second and lower it down. Now we want the knee and the foot to lift at the same time. So you keep that parallel line from the side of the knee to the side of the ankle. So what I want to avoid is tipping your foot higher or tipping your knee higher. Straight up and down. Use the outside of your leg and your bum muscles to lift the leg. Now I need you to start to think about your back. So you've got a nice straight spine and your waist muscles pulled in, because in a second we're going to pull the bottom leg up as well. So we're going to have to use the side of the body, not the shoulder. So what you're trying to do, if you've got any shoulder issues or any neck issues, I'd leave it off. Just you can watch today while you're doing your leg lifting and see if it'll suit you next time. Because what I want the rest of you to do is put your hand about chest, your top hand flat on the floor about chest level, and it's going to help you. So when you lift the top leg, you're going to leave it there. You're going to pull your waist in, straighten your back, push down into this top hand and lift the bottom leg off the floor as well. Bring the legs together and then lower them to the floor. I want you to feel your waist working, not your bottom shoulder. So lift the top leg like you did. Hand about chest level, adjust it if you need to. Push down into your hands, straighten your back and pull the bottom leg off the floor. Top foot to it, top leg to it, so the legs are together and then lower to the mat. Really use your waist muscles on this one. So top leg lifts, stays there. Pull the waist, straighten the back, pull the bottom leg off the floor. Top leg to it, so they're touching each other, down to the floor. Again, top leg, press, pull that bottom leg up, don't lean back, together and down. Little cheat that's just occurred to me that might happen is as you bring the second leg up, you lean back. Keep your chest facing forward. Get the pointed finger now, you see, when I want you to do it right. So lift the top leg, press into the hand, pull the bottom leg up, use your inner thigh muscles. Feet, knees together and lower to the floor. Your upper arm's going to be working hard. One more, top leg, press, squeeze that bottom leg up, together and down. Well done, relax the shoulder. That's going to build up strength in your wrist as well. Right, what we got next? Just a little bit of a side plank, nothing much. We'll do it on forearm because the wrists are taking quite a bit of work today. So bottom leg bent, sort of an L shape, chest and hips facing forward. You're going to lift that bottom hip off the floor and reach your arm overhead. Really pull the waist in and pull the hip up and back to your mat when you're ready. Use your legs and not just your bottom leg. So your forearm, your bottom leg, your top foot, all working together to allow you to lift that hip. No twisting, up, reach up and over with your arm. Really pull yourself away from that mat. And down. Good. 3 more. We're into our 5s today. Lift, and reach. Remember, pull the shoulder away from your ear. Really use the underside of your body to lift you up. That's 3. If you feel it in your neck, you might find that you don't want to bring the arm up and over. Sometimes when you lift the arm over, it tenses the neck, so you just keep your arm bone by your side if you prefer. That's 3, I think. Lift, reach. You wouldn't think 5 would be that hard to count, would you? That's 4, I think. 1 more. Up. Really pull away from that floor. Straighten your back and over with the arm. Reach, reach, reach with those fingers. And down. Good. What you do on one side, you got to do on the other. So over we go. Next side. Get your cushion where you want it. So we'll start with the arm circles and we'll start with the elbow bent. So legs bent, shoulders relaxed, neck supported, arm bent, and you're just circling your elbow around. So remember, all I want you to feel is that shoulders moving and you're getting that little bit of twisting for the upper body. It's worth starting to like this, particularly if you've got any issues with the shoulder, because the arm's not too heavy and you can get that feeling of you're still working your back without too much discomfort in the shoulder, hopefully. And stay with this if you want, or bring your feet forward a bit so you're more in that L shape and then into your straight arm. So you're going to get some rotation from the shoulder a bit more now as well. Rolling back, reaching. So we're really focusing on moving the shoulders, drawing the waist away from the floor. So we've got that ability to twist the body. And when you're ready, you can break the move in half. So you reach behind you and stay there for a second. And let the weight of your arm just bring that shoulder down a little bit more. And then back. So you're just holding it. Gently pressing into your legs will give you that bit of grounding to give you that reach. Nice opening through the chest. Just make sure your head's supported so your neck's not working too hard. I'll do 1 more. And then we get into the legs. You like that one, didn't you? I could tell. So, have your legs about that 90-degree position now. We'll start with the top leg. So your waist is pulled in, your hips are square. You use your outside and your bottom leg muscles to lift that top leg up. Hold it for a second, 2, and down. And you'll really want to think about working through the side of the leg and the side of your bum. And your outside of your foot and the outside of your knee are level. So it really builds up strength in the side of the leg, into the glutes. Hand can be on that top leg just to give it something to push against if that helps you. Okay, then we're going to bring the bottom leg into it as well. So remember, as I said, if you've got any issues with your shoulder or your neck, you might just want to stay with just that first bit of the move that we've just done. Don't want to aggravate that. But really think about straightening your back now, because we need a lot more strength from the upper body to help. So we're lifting the top leg just like we did. The top hand is about chest level, so you can press down on it. And as you push down on your hand, you tense your waist and you pull the bottom leg away from the floor. Top leg meets it, so you've got both knees and both feet off the mat, and then you lower back to the floor. That's my... Sorry about that, that's my watch. I buzzed onto my watch. So again, lift the top leg, pull the waist in, straighten the back, tense the thigh and pull the bottom leg away from the floor. Don't lean back, bring the top leg down so you're balanced with both feet off the floor, and then lower to your mat. Really feel your waist muscles doing some work. Top leg, push down and pull that bottom leg up without leaning back. Bring the knees and feet together and lower. 2 more. Lift, press, squeeze and lift the bottom leg up. Bring the knees and feet together and lower. Last one, really think about pulling from the waist on this one. Top leg, bottom leg together and hold. pull the waist in tight. And down, well done. Even set my watch off, that's how intense that one was. Bit of side plank to finish. So elbow, you can come up onto your hand if you want to, remember, but I'm just doing it as a low plank because we've done quite a bit of work using our wrists. So top leg straight, bottom leg bent, chest and hips facing forward. You're going to push down into the floor and lift the hip off the mat, and then if you want to, reach over with your arm and lower yourself back down. So really think about lifting up, pulling yourself up, and then reaching over. If it's hurting your neck, keep your arm down by your side. But you want a gap between your waist and that floor. Good. 5 of these again. Be careful on this one. My eye just went into it because I'm getting a little bit tired. My top shoulder's dropped forward. If I lift now, I'm going to put my back out. So you've got to square your shoulders, square your hips. Use your legs to help you. Lift up. And reach over with that arm. And back down. Square up. Press down into the... Use your top foot. It's really useful to use that top foot to help give you a bit of leverage rather than all through the bottom leg. Lift. Pull the waist in, reach over, pull the shoulder back and down. Do one more. Lift and reach. Really reach on this last one, really pull the waist up. Lovely, good. Okay, and then you can just line your back. Yeah, finally. It's hard work this starting, not standing up, isn't it? So I don't do it very often. Okay, now you're on the floor. We'll do a little bit of supine twist. Because we've done 2 sides and we're all stronger on one side, we might be a little bit off balance now, a bit off centre. So we'll just try and square up. So get your shoulders comfy. Block or cushion under your head if you want to. Bring your knees and feet together and just let your arms move away from your body to give you some balance. And you're just going to do your twisting. So this time your shoulders are staying on the floor and your hips are twisting. And it just helps, I think, just to reset everything. Just a nice, easy movement. But it's quite often, when we do this one later in the class, you might find that you've got more movement. We tend to do this right at the beginning. So by leaving it till later, you might think, oh, actually, I'm not as bad at this move as I thought I was. Turn your head and look away from your legs if you want to. Just let that opposite shoulder sink into the floor. Once more each side. Hopefully everything's starting to feel nice and level. Alright, now, lying on the back, I want to make sure that we are still using these core muscles, not just sinking into the floor and letting the floor do the work. So set your posture, relax your shoulders. Remember, we're looking for that natural curve in the back. So the weight is sitting on the pelvis. Shoulders are relaxed. I'm going to start with just some simple knee folds here. So you're going to bring your right leg up to about 90 degrees. And down. Keeping the pelvis still. So we're trying to draw the belly button in, draw the pelvic floor up, as if we put on a tight corset, pulling us in and up slightly. Relaxing the shoulders. Good. Come to double knee fold if you want to. And for this one, remember, a slight modification for those with a quite big arch in the back, just let your knee come a little bit closer and it will just tilt the pelvis back a little bit. So when you bring the second leg up, we don't want the belly to stick out, we want it to pull in. So double knee fold, lengthen the spine. Imagine floating just off your mat. Don't do it, people will be scared. Just imagine doing it. You're not pressing heavy into the floor. And feet down, back to your start. So I want this to be really smooth. You bring the leg up, you bring it in slightly if you need to support your back. You zip and lengthen the spine and float the second leg up. Holding it for a few seconds. Think about using your front thigh muscles to pull the legs up. And then float the legs back down. We want this one to look easy peasy. All the work internally, nothing to show. And down. Once more, because we're going to do quite an advanced single leg kick in a minute, so I want to make sure that we're getting the work from the centre here. There's no pushing into the neck, there's no pushing into that lower back. It's all coming from holding a nice posture. The English teacher would have told me off that we weren't allowed to use the word nice. Sorry. And back. Okay, so we're going to do a single leg kick. I'm going to start off with just the legs, and then I'm going to bring an ab curl into it for those who it's appropriate for. So we'll start with level 1 single leg kick. So with your feet on the floor, shoulders relaxed, you're going to bring your right leg to 90 degrees, and you're going to push the leg out until it's straight, and bend it again and pull it to the floor. Pelvis is locked in position, so draw abdominals in and up, holding it still. So all the movement is coming from the hip and the knee. When the leg is straight, tense the thigh and then bend it and bring it down. So you've got 2 jobs to do. You've got to keep the pelvis locked in position and the leg moving. So we're building up leg strength and pelvic stability. When the leg is straight, don't just let it hang. Tense the thigh muscles to try and keep it away from the floor. So I want you to be aware of the thigh muscles working hard. Last one, up, extend, tense the leg, bend it and down. Now, any osteoporosis of the spine, particularly the neck, or any slipped discs, again, sort of that part of the spine, I want you to just stay as you are so the upper body is supported. The rest of you, I'm going to add a little ab curl on just to get the front abdominals working. And when we do an ab curl, we do it by tightening the belly, bringing the ribs down towards the hips so the head and shoulders ping off the floor. It's not from the neck. So, bring the right leg up again to 90 degrees, extend it, then tighten the belly, curl the head and shoulders off the floor, having a little bit of a closer look at your knee. And then roll back, bend the leg, pull it back to the floor. Same on the left, bend, lift the foot, straighten the leg, tense the thigh, tighten the abdominals, curl the head and shoulder off the floor, look at the leg, roll back to the floor, put your foot down. So we're holding that leg there, extend it, tense it, while we curl up into an ab curl. If you want to, you can put your hands underneath your head. That is not to allow you to lift your head, it's to support the head whilst it lifts. The lift comes from the belly. Squeeze in ribs to hips. Forgot to straighten your leg then. Oh, do it again now. So lift, straighten the leg, curl up, squeeze the head and shoulders off the floor. Roll them back, bend the leg, pull it down. One more, curl, lift, extend, tense the thigh, curl up, roll down. Good one. Okay, have a quick stretch out. We've got some hip lifts, I think next. Is that hip lifts? Yes, hip lifts, the next one. So we're going to work the back of the leg now, the bum particularly. So feet on the floor, nothing underneath your head other than your mat. And I want you to just do a few test lifts. So your feet need to be pretty close to your bum, so you've got a straight line from knee to ankle. So when you lift, a little squeeze of your feet and a little squeeze of your arm down on your shoulders, so your bum goes straight off the floor. Try not to tilt back. Some people try and use the front abdominals too much and actually tilt the pelvis to come up. I want it to come up in a neutral position, using your bum muscles to push you off the floor. So when you're happy that you've got that action and you're not getting cramp in the calf or the hamstring, push your hips off the floor, ground down into your shoulders and into your feet, and think about bringing your shoulders towards your heels so you're not sliding along your mat. Hold that position, little squeeze of the inner thigh muscles to stop the knees drifting, and then lift your hands up slowly, up and back, and keep lifting the hips away from the floor. Use your bum muscles. When your hands touch the floor behind you, start to lift them back up to the ceiling again, and when they're about where your fingers are pointed up to the ceiling, you start to push down with your hands and push down with your hips. You come back to the floor. Try not to move along your mat, so set your position where you want it to be. As you start to lift your bum, push down onto your shoulders, and think about bringing your shoulders towards your feet. As you lift yourself up, pushing your hips up, Little squeeze of the inner thigh muscles to stop the knees drifting. If you're happy in your pose, you stay there and slowly float the arms back. The slower you move the arms, the better really, because it's a strength position. We want to really use the hips and the glutes. Back up to the ceiling with your hands, and then you start to lower hips back to the floor. If you're feeling this in your lower back, sometimes people go into a pelvic tilt one way or the other as they start to lift. So it might be you need to push onto your shoulders a little bit more, or keep the move quite small where you just think about clenching your bum. I don't want the pelvis to tilt either way, it stays neutral. So up, engage these glute muscles, engage the inner thigh muscles, pull the shoulders down towards your feet, and then float your arms up. Lift the hips a little bit higher as long as you're doing it from neutral, not tilting, which is bossy. Back to the ceiling and push down. Really use these glute muscles. 2 more. I don't know how many we've done, but we're going to do 2 more. Up we go. Lift. Pull the shoulders down. Pull the inner thighs together and then lift the arms. So take your time. Back to the ceiling and lower yourself to the floor. Don't lower too quickly, don't drop. Make these glutes support you as you slowly put yourself down again. You'll thank me when you put your trousers back on. When we're all back into proper clothes, you'll thank me. Once more, go up, float back. I'm not sure I'll be able to work a zip again. Back up to the ceiling and lower. It's enough to put shoes on. Doing laces up was a bit of a shock. Alright, and then bring your knees into your chest just to relax, and you can move your legs around a little bit. They'll come out like little moles, we'll be blinking in the daylight. Oh dear. Okay, we're going to do some sitting up work now. So put your feet on the floor or roll yourself up if you're feeling energetic. Hands on the floor to help and push yourself up to sitting. Bit of chest stretching. We're nearly done now. So I just want you to get out of that rounded posture. It's very easy to get into. So rest on your fingertips behind you. Put your legs however you're comfy. Cross at the ankle or the knee. Sit on your cushion if you want to. Just rest on your fingertips behind you and pull your shoulder blades together and press your chest forward. So again, we're back to that thinking about the shoulder blades moving now. If your shoulders are very tight, then you start to drop into this forward flexion. So pull the shoulders back and down and press the chest down. Try not to put too much weight on your fingertips. Pull back, lift your chest. Stay there and breathe deep if you can, and really feel your chest expanding. And then relax. Pull back and down and lift. The reason I have you on your fingertips for this one is you're less likely to push down and use your arm strength. I want you to really think about pulling your shoulder blades together and down and using across these lats, these muscles that move your rib cage. Pull back and down and lift. We're going to come into leg pull front, our upside down plank. Any shoulder injuries, again, if you prefer, just stay with what we're doing because this is really useful. Sitting up and pulling the shoulders back, really useful for resetting the shoulder position rather than it being slouched forward and giving you an injury. So stay here, or put your hands on the floor, put your feet on the floor. Put your hands in a position where you feel that they can support your shoulders. So you might want a couple of test goes, where you just, not test goes, where you just make sure that you are able to come up into our box. Feet flat on the floor, and you're going to push down onto your hands, pull your shoulders back so your chest is lifted, push down onto your feet so you feel your hips lift off the floor and straighten yourself out. Ground down through your hands and your feet and lift your body off the mat. And back down. Just a quick tip that you don't let yourself come forward. You're not bringing your bum towards your feet because that's too much stretch for the shoulders. So ground down into the hands and the feet, pull the shoulders back and lift yourself off the floor. Really lift up. Lift out of those shoulders, out of those hips. And down. We're going to do 5 of these. We've done 2. We've done 2. 3 more. Shoulders back and lift. See if you can stay there for a few seconds. Really try and use your bum muscles and your upper back muscles. And then if you're feeling it in your shoulder, go back to sitting, pulling the shoulders back. 2 more. Lift. Press into the hands. Press into the feet. Watch the knees aren't drifting apart. And then 1 more. Pull back and lift. Try and make that table shape now if you can. Push up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Well done. Bring yourself forward. Let's release the shoulders and breathe into your back. Have your knees and feet a little bit further apart so that you can bring your body forward. Have your knees bent as much as is comfortable for you, just to support the weight of your upper body. Let your neck relax. Breathe into your back. Just releasing any tension in that lower spine here. Really breathe into your back. Okay. Sit up nice and straight. Change your leg position if you want to. You're going to put one hand behind you, so your thumb's about sort of lined up with your spine, and you're going to turn in that direction. Again, we're moving the shoulders, not the hips. Reach your head up, put your chin on your shelf, and then come back to centre and change sides. So the hand goes behind you to start that twist, and you're turning in that direction. Other hand can just come across your lap. Just be careful of that hand coming across, that it doesn't pull your leg in, because that might set sciatica off. So just reaching up through your head. And then back to centre, change sides. So the hand reaches round, that moves that shoulder back, and then you turn in that direction. Keep lifting up out of your hips. Good. Resting on your fingertips. Use your back muscles to hold you up, not resting too much on your arm. It's just there as a bit of support. Try and, as much as you can, use your back strength to hold you up, rather than your arm strength. Sitting up out of those hips. Good. Breathe into that stretch. Once more. Round we go. Hopefully you're finding you're going a little bit further now. A little bit more rotation. Listen to your body though. Last one. Okay, we're going to come back up to standing to finish. So from here, back up onto your hands and knees. Bring your hands in front of your knees and push down onto your hands so you can walk back onto your feet, back into that squat position, and bring yourself up to standing. No excuse for not cleaning the bottom cupboards now, you see. Alright, standing up nice and tall, just gently roll through your feet. Feel your calf muscles work now. If you do feel a little bit lightheaded, bring your head down so that it's easier to get blood back into your head, but otherwise stand up nice and tall and feel the calves contracting and stretching. Head reaching for the ceiling, shoulders back and down. Okay, stand with your feet about hip distance apart. And to put your hands in your imaginary back pockets, pull your shoulders back and lift your chest. If you want to, you can lean back slightly and admire the ceiling. And then upright again. So hands in the back pockets just to support your back. Don't push your hips forward. I want you to pull your shoulders back and down so your chest lifts, and then if it suits you, a little back bend. And then tighten your belly to straighten you up again. So this actually stretches the abdominal muscles. Don't make them bigger, don't worry. Just gives you that mobility to look up. And and release. If you can, rather than having your hands in your back pockets, lace your fingers together behind you, pull your shoulders back and down, and as you lean back slightly now, push your hands down towards the floor. And pull yourself back up. If you need that support of hands in the back pockets or lower back, then you leave it there. But otherwise, pull the shoulders back and down, and as you arch your back, pump your hands down to the floor. And pull yourself up. Once more. It stretches the chest and the shoulders nicely. Just relax the neck. And release. Nice shoulder roll. Hopefully everything feels a little bit looser. Yeah. Right, my dears, that's another one done. Enjoy, let me know what you think. I'll still enjoy getting your comments. If there's any exercises I've missed out and you want more of, just say. I'm happy to oblige when I remember. Alright, have a good week all. Bye bye.